Hey friends, happy Tuesday. Who's ready to play with paper bags, ink, vellum, tinfoil, all those things? We are going to have a blast. We are playing along with Craft Roulette as always. So I see that Danny's on here. Hello. Hi, Judy. Hi, Justine. And hi, Sandy Pellis. Good to see you. So I know that we've used this stamp set a few times. The Together wonderful stamp set. But if you are new here, do you see something new that's in the shop? We now have this as a stamp and die bundle. So if you are one of the few people who, I shouldn't say few, a lot of you bought them, have the stamp set, but you want the die, email me and we'll come up with something. Well, I'll invoice you for just the difference for the die. That way nobody has to miss out if they want the die. But going forward, it'll only be sold as a stamp and die bundle. It will not be available as a separate die. So that's kind of true with all of our stamp die bundles. So yep, yay, so that gets good stuff on Judy. So I'm going to bring on screen what is going on for Craft Roulette. It's a Gatefold card, which everybody knows. It's like, yeah, I'll take it or leave it. Natural element, so we're going to use paper. We're going to use flowers, and we're going to use this paper. Colors are Monet, so that could pretty much be anything. And then Crinkle Inkle. And I think that's the thing, like, what the heck is Crinkle Inkle? Well, don't you fret. We're going to have it figured out for you. So I did stamp and die cut these stamps out. So the Wonderful and Together are in VersaFine Claire, Nocturne, yes, and then die cut. And then one is in VersaFine and one is in Memento, so that we can co-pick colors. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be or how much we're going to get into, but I want to talk about, Judy said she used Together for Craft Roulette too. I want to get into Crinkle Inkle. So I am going to put these away where they will be safe, which means that they're going to be behind me. So it's up to you guys to remind me. Because if you've been around here for any amount of time, you know that this can be dangerous, me not knowing where I put stuff. So again, hi Tanya. We're going to play along with Craft Roulette, and we're going to talk about Crinkle Inkle. So to me, Crinkle Inkle is pretty much basically like ink swishing, but doing it in different ways. So I've got out, this is a paper bag, which you can use Amazon packaging or anything that you've got. So I have, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrinkle this up because we want this to look like leather. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Skylar. Good to see everybody. So the more that this looks like trash, the better it's going to look. So the reason we're starting out with this first is because we want this to dry. So we're going to do this a few times. I'm going to use this other paper bag and we'll get this going. Hi, Tara. Good to see you. I hope you're doing better. I hope your daughter's doing better. Okay. So right now we're using a lunch bag because, believe it or not, I didn't have any brown packing material from Amazon. And when I went to Dollar Tree, they only had white and I wanted brown. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put down vintage photo. And we're going to talk about the different ways that we can do Crinkle Inkle. And I'm putting down a lot. That's probably a huge overkill. It's fine. But one thing I like to do is use awesome sauce with this. And I'm hoping I have awesome sauce in here. I do. I have one of our older containers of it. So this one screws off the top, and I'm just putting that down on that edge here. So I'm going to sacrifice this yellow. So my Crinkle Inkle is going to be the paper. So you said, Tara saying that today has been a good day for her. Good. That's always important. Good days are good, especially after that kind of a trauma. So we are just putting this down haphazardly, okay? And you always want to ink smush your ink. You don't want to put the awesome sauce in your actual ink pad because you will ruin it and then you'll be mad at me, and I don't want that responsibility. But once you get this saturated, you can kind of leave it as is. This does dry pretty quickly. And I probably used way more awesome sauce than what we needed. I do like a domed foam blender better than the flat ones, you know, like the original ones. But you can use whatever you got. You can even use a makeup applicator. Hi, Sandy Powers. Good to see you. And that doesn't look like much of anything. In fact, it just looks like a wet paper bag. We're going to put this off to the side. And again, when I can't find it, I want you guys to remind me that it's behind me. All right. So another way to do Crinkle Inkle is, hold on. We're going to do this with colors here in a minute too. In fact, we might just go ahead and move to colors. Let's just wipe all this down. I'm using a baby wipe just to speed the process up. All right. So I've got a piece of white paper. I guess I need to dry that a little bit. That was a brand new set of baby wipes, so it was extremely juicy. And I am using saltwater taffy, Kitsch Flamingo, I don't even know what I even pulled out. And this is Abandoned Coral. So I think Tanya has seen this because she took the Pajama Crafter class at the Cincinnati Sample A last year. So this is not new for her. But this is just a Dollar Tree sponge from the kitchen aisle. And you put it in a plastic bag. And you take water. And you spray your camera. You spray your iPad. And you do all that stuff. What is the purpose of Awesome Sauce? So it was originally, it's to help blend. So we're doing the Crinkle Inkle by using plastic on this one. It's to help blend. I used to teach at retreats, and one of the biggest things that I saw where people were having a real hard time blending, because you would get those big circles and those blotches, and then I would have people like get very upset that it didn't look like the instructors. So basically what that does is it takes away the difficulty of blending. So you always will get a smooth blend with that. So this is basically like Crinkle Inkle using a plastic bag. Nothing like earth-shattering here. I am going to flip this over. I don't know what side we're going to end up using, if we're going to use any of it. Putting the same colors down, I just want you to see the difference in the technique. But the reason I used Awesome Sauce on the paper bag is it should make it look like leather. And we're going to demonstrate what it looks like not using Awesome Sauce on a bag here in a minute. Same 3 colors, some water. I use less water this time. And let's see. It's already ran away from me. Where is that? Oh. For all of you people who love ASMR, here's the tinfoil. Danny says way back when they did that with saran wrap. That's basically what the bag was doing. See the different texture you get? This definitely gives you a whole different look. Judy said she used bubble wrap. I thought about doing that. Okay, so that's the texture you get with tinfoil. I bet if we open it up a little bit and you see, no, you're still getting that real speckled look. Not my favorite technique, but that's what you get with tinfoil. Basically, what I'm telling you is you can use just about anything. And then I've got a piece of vellum. I like the plastic look too, Justine. So far. This is a very thick vellum. So I have a feeling we're going to get kind of the same look. But I'm saving a piece of that to try something else. So we're really kind of getting the same look with the vellum as we did with the tinfoil. They all have their things. So there's that. And then that was with the bag. So we definitely could go back in and add more texture now. So it just depends on which one you like. Now, Danielle said, I think was it Danielle? Hi, Annie. Sandy Pellis, you had asked what the purpose of awesome sauce was. All right, so I need a foam. Never mind. All right. So I had used broken china on another card at one point. I was going to use that piece of paper. Hold on. Okay. So this might have a little bit of awesome. It does have awesome sauce on it. So when you go and do your blending in the middle of a piece of paper, you get that real harsh line that those blobs that you can't undo, right? And that's why they always teach you to go off the page and kind of swirl onto the page. Well, but when you start in the middle of the page, you get those god-awful marks. With awesome sauce. And again, I'm ink smushing onto my glass mat. I can go right onto my paper and I don't get any of those harsh lines. Now you'll notice that it is lighter, and that's because we're sort of diluting it. So you would let that dry and then you would add more, but you can start literally anywhere on the paper and you don't have those big old dots. I mean, I just went down like that with it. Like, let's do that again. Since it's already pretty much saturated right down there. And now I can smooth that out and it goes away. So it really changes the ink blending game for folks. But this is something I wanted to see on vellum. Remember I threw that piece to the side if I didn't already like chuck it. It's on the floor. Okay. So I wanted to see what this looks like on vellum. And I do want to change colors. I want to go back to brown because I'm trying to get that leather look. And I am truly experimenting with you guys the same as I mean, like legitimately, I am experimenting. So we've got vintage photo in distress ink here. And we're using gathered twigs in distress oxide. You never know what you're going to get here. So where's my brown? So it's given me a little bit softer look. I'm going to dip into the gather twigs to get some dimension. So we're changing up the crinkle inkle a little bit. But you have to remember that, you know, this is vellum is plastic, and then I'm putting a very wet medium on here, I think. Like the consistency of hair gel, even though it'll dry non-sticky and it has nothing toxic in it. It's not pharmaceutical, it's cosmetology grade. So it does have a sheen to it. So we'll have to see how that dries. So again, that's going to be behind me. So what I want to do is come in with this gather twigs, and I have enough of this awesome sauce on here. I just want to add different colors to it. Not too bad, kind of neato. So right now it looks like a wet paper bag. We'll see what it turns out to be in the end. I think it's going to turn out pretty cool, to be honest with you. Now, we did do that with just distress ink. We're going to do it now with just distress oxide to see if we get a different, like if we get the ghosting, if that makes a difference. So what do you guys think of our playtime so far? Like, we're experimenting together. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone, and we're gonna call this a day on this one. Oh yeah, what was that technique where it would look like a feathering or something? It would like you did like a split, like I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because my mom wanted to do it. My dad was like, hell no. I voted with my dad on that one, just so y'all know. Hold on, I'm gonna grab some different little brushes here. So we can while that stuff is doing its thing. Now, I believe this is the Versamark one, unless I forgot in the short amount of time that I stamped it. So what you could do is you could completely just stamp your flowers onto here and then die cut it. Or you could do exactly what we did before. Since the leaves are pretty contained, we could probably just go crazy with the colors. So I looked up different peonies, and there's like a coral color one, not the pink. They're like fire coral. Like they're really cool looking. And I kind of want to emulate this a little bit. I do a lot of water because enough is enough. Where did my bag go? All right, let's go and use this bag. I kind of like to mix them a little bit. And then you get inky fingers and you have to worry about like touching your face, touching your clothes. And I think we'll leave that alone. Sponge. You're right. It was a sponge. So for everybody that says I only color, here we go. I'm proving you wrong. I can smash stuff. I don't know how pretty it is, but I just did it. And then for these leaves, I'm going to use some crushed olive and twisted citron. Does anybody know which is my favorite color? Anybody have a guess? Out of the twisted citron and the crushed olive? It'll just be interesting to see if people actually know me. I am betting that Sandy Powers knows the answer. So I'm just using these little detail brushes. And I'm pouncing on twisted citron. And the reason this is working without smearing is because this is VersaFine Clair, and this is the dye-based ink. So it's like watercolor, basically. What do you think? Frank says citron. Yes, twisted citron. So lime green is my absolute favorite color. So if anybody ever wants to kiss up to me, just buy me something in lime green and you can't go wrong. Not that you guys would ever buy me something. I'm putting it out in the universe. Like if my husband's listening, then he'll remember what my favorite color is. But do you see how adding this crushed olive kind of like makes it pop? Yes, you're right, Sandy. I knew you'd get it because it's your favorite color too. All right, so I do want to add a little bit of shading to these flowers. And I mean, it's just, I'm playing today. I don't even know if we're going to get into like finishing the whole card because I'm kind of having fun just playing. So that's the abandoned coral. Like if you don't like a painterly effect, this is not your cup of tea. Now I've used a little bit of color colored pencils with it, it would make it look really nice. We could do a lime green color challenge. Oh. I'm game. I'd have to like paint my room and oh yeah. Give me a reason to like change the colors up in my room and do something fantastical. All right, so now I'm going to twist the color theory a little bit because I don't feel like grabbing another color. So normally like a pinkish orange and a green would turn brown. I am using a very yellow green color, and I'm lightly dabbing that in to the centers to where the stamen would be. And I think that it gives it just enough of a pop of different colors that you don't actually have to use yellow or orange. On screen, on screen when I look up at it, it seems like this is really pale. In person, it looks phenomenal. I know that sounds weird. I think the bright lights, let's see. Does that help? It's just a different technique. It's just, we're having fun. And how many times do we like just get inky with it and play? Like, I feel like it's really rare. So, for instance, I will get the stamp out. We totally could use this one. This is wet still. Sorry for the jiggle. Oh, these bar magnets are all stuck together. I don't know if I'm going to get this apart. I get two apart though. All right. Alrighty, let's stamp this just to see. Your whole room is crazy. Sandy, I have a question. How do you even take a photo with a green room? Like, for reals? I would think that would like offset every one of your colors. I chose this because I like the speckling there. That's why I moved it around. Gonna use all of my little piggy press. You don't do photos in there, that makes sense. We had a lady who had a bright pink room that was on our team at one point, and she always wore bright pink. And every time she would take a picture, her pictures would have this color tone to them. And it was because her entire room was like, I call it Pepto-Bismol pink. Maybe Barbie pink would be a nicer way to describe it. And we finally had to like do some troubleshooting. And then I'm like, what color is your room? What color is your sweatshirt? And the answer was bright pink. All right. But see how that makes a really pretty card right there? And you don't even have to work at it. Like, guys, we did Crinkle Inkle. We just did it kind of reversed. So we could, do you see that? I used the wrong end of my blender. So we could just put a little bit of green in there. Who else likes paint, like just ink blending instead of coloring? Does that ever feel freeing to you? I never thought I'd say it, but I'm kind of enjoying it. Not gonna lie, because I am not I'm not normally an inky person. I like to color. And then if we wanted to, we could add more, but I think that's really pretty just in itself. So you might see that on the card. Who knows? Like I said, I am just playing tonight. No real rhyme or reason to my game here. I am going to clean off some of the inks. One, because I've already had a black ink pad land on my pants. That was fun. All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with a gatefold card, we'll talk about it. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of paper. Okay. And yes, it's got stuff on it, but that's because I'm crafting. So that's 2.5, 2 1/4. We're at 2 1/8. Flip it over. Do another 2 1/8. Sean must have gone outside because Gracie decided to scream. I don't know if you heard her, but she was gracing us with her presence. And if you don't know, that's my cockatoo. And she very much likes to be in the mix of everything. So you score that at 2 1/8. And that leaves you a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. So if you didn't know how to make a gatefold, there you go. Those were cheapies that I found on City. Those brushes are cheapies that I found on Amazon years ago. I do know for a fact that if you put those in the search bar, they'll be there. They'll be there all black ones. I think there might be all white ones. And I know there's definitely the colored ones. I like the colored ones, but that's just me. All right. So those of you who are here for the coloring, let's do that. And some of you are here just for the conversation or the whatever. I need to really rinse my hands real bad. So if you didn't ever know, if you get ink on your hands and you can't get it, like if you want to just lock it in and keep moving, if you use hand sanitizer, it'll lock it in and keep it from smearing. But the best way I have found to remove ink is to wash your hair. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the friction of your hair and the friction of your hair and the soap. Are you talking about my nails, Justine? Are they similar to yours this time? If they are, I didn't do it on purpose. I swear it. She has, however, influenced my nail colors a few times. Try to think what colors I want to use. All right. So I'm going to use R30, R32, RV29, and 25. And we are going to zoom in. Okay. That's the The one thing I cannot stand is that my mount turns every time I touch my camera to zoom. I should just get a remote, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to go with the flowers. I usually color petal by petal. Hi, Shalana. Good to see you. You've been a traveling fool. Look like you had a good time in Nashville. Did you get to meet Tara before she left? We were playing with Crinkle Inkle, and while all that stuff dries, I am now coloring. This is RB29 on our Together stamp set. And if anybody has bought the Together stamp set before we had a die, email me and I'll just make an invoice where you can buy the die separately. It was an afterthought, to be very honest with you. It was a very highly requested die. You had a blast. Not sure if you met her. She had to leave early because her daughter was in a car accident. So you may have known her as the person that had to leave. Sorry, Tara. What a way to introduce you to somebody. Thank you, Justine, for putting the bundle in the comments. It's actually a pretty decent deal. I think it's like $23.99. You get the word die. So the word die is going to just be a shadow. So you would stamp, and then you get the shadow effect, the outline. Because I love me a thicker border. So today I made sourdough over the weekend on Sunday, as I always do. And I made a ham sandwich. I was craving a ham sandwich on my sourdough. And then my friend asked me to go out to dinner last night. So, of course, I'm going to go see my friend instead of, staying home to eat a ham sandwich. Because our girls always come first, But anyway, so I had a ham sandwich today. I am starving. I never eat lunch. And the one day I do, it feels like it jumped my metabolism or something. And now I'm like, oh my. So do you guys see how I'm kind of going with the flow of each petal? I know it looks kind of a mess, but it's the best way that I know how to teach it. And so where some of the petals are flipped up, the shadow would be at the bottom, but up here, down here, then they're opening up this way. So they're going the opposite direction. But that's how you turn your 2-dimensional item into a 3-dimensional item with coloring. And you can, do a couple flicks from the top. You and my bread. I know. Who knew that Sean's hobby was going to become my therapy? I actually, when I remade the starter, because I threw his away. I know I've told this story before. It was meant to be for his birthday, and that I was going to hand him over his hobby, and I was never going to touch it again. And he has not touched sourdough since. So I guess it's my hobby, my therapy, I don't know. If I didn't have dogs, I would probably sell it at a farmer's market, but not allowed to do it if you have animals in your house. So, nor would you want to. That doesn't stop his people at work from asking me to make them some. But I would never feel comfortable, acting like I was a bakery or some stuff. Tanya, do you still have my starter, or did it die during your travels? I never did get back to you on that, because I was going to say if you need more, I'll send it to you. And if anybody wants starter, you just email me and I'll send you some. I don't want any money for it. I don't want anything. I just want to get it out of my house. Isn't this pretty? But it looks pretty scary too. Love, love, love it. Tara, how dare you step away from the laptop for a minute? Jeez. Look, I mean, come on now. All right. So that's enough with the RV29. And you never know. I'm going to put other colors in here that I don't even know about yet. We're repeating the process. So again, if you're not here for the coloring, I'm sorry. So I'm with Shalana. I'm more of a in-person retreat person. Anytime I sign up for a virtual, I never show up. I end up at the grocery store. I end up hanging out with my husband, watching true crime, doing anything but the virtual. Like I should never, ever, ever sign up for a virtual class. Every time I have failed miserably. And I think I've got a summer cold trying to start. It's feeling in nice, ladies. It's always about that scary dark. I wish I could be one of those colorists that didn't have to like turn their paper, but I have to have my wrist comfortable in order to blend the way I want it to blend. Some of us flick away from ourselves better. Some people flick towards themselves better. I tend to flick away from me better. And usually it takes you about 5 minutes to figure out which way you do better. Did you need to come in? Must have been a dog, not a husband. I swore I heard him knocking at the door. Which would have been fine. I would have had him step on camera to say hi to you ladies. And I'm going to do just a small little bitty bit there. Polite doggies, yes. Are they polite? I don't know. They've been on my dang nerves today. Bird just put her 2 cents worth in. Shaw was going to go to his Pew Pew Club today, and he thought that being home to control the animals was better. And I said, I would just prefer you to, like, go straight from work to the Pew Pew Club, and then come home, disturb everything, and then get them all riled up. But he decided he's going to make dinner. I think next, like in 2 weeks, he's going to go to the Pew Pew Club. And I said, just stay at work later or go out to dinner before you go. Looking pretty special, guys. I can't believe y'all are hanging on for this. Oh, I forgot that top bud, didn't I? Shoot. All right. R30. Oh, she's dry. She needs to be refilled. Okay. We're going to use YG01. And that's going to turn some of this into like an orange color. How do I know? Because I've practiced with it. And you have to remember that if you have green leaves, it's all going to reflect in nature. Would you have ever put YG01 in there? Did I freak anybody out? Now we're going to use our FYR1. That means it's a fluorescent color. Sparingly. There's no rhyme or reason. Stunning. I hate to say it. I love these. Like, I wish I had these in my front yard. I have the normal pink peonies. They were gorgeous this year, but having those coral ones would be fire. Okay. So I'm going to use this YG01 because, well, it's my favorite color. And that's where the greenery is. Okay. And then we're going to use YG67 because, well, it's my second favorite color. Hey, Becky, good to see you. This is like the second time in a month that I've seen you. That makes me happy. Happy, 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 joy, joy. God, I made up. Becky, I saw a really pretty card that you made for Not Too Shabby on Facebook the other day, and I wanted to tell you, I commented on it, but since you're on here, I wanted to tell you it's really pretty, and your photography was beautiful. Did a really good job with that card. Everything about it said, yes, please, more. YG17. That would be my darkest mid-tone, which is probably what you would see the most, because most of this foliage would be in shadow. And then I'm taking YG03 and I'm kind of washing over it. So that YG01 will still pop through, but it's going to blend all the other striations we put in with the other colors. And you can definitely come in here with the R32, and you can put a little bit of this down into your leaves. Because again, you do have a reflection about the sun. And that just jazzes up your stuff a little bit. Just a hint of color. So it was R30, R32, RV29, and RV25. If anybody wants those numbers. And that's always my favorite color of green. So where did my, yes. So you've got that version. You've got that version. And you've got that version. But you can always take, since we use distress inks and they are a water-based, you can still use your markers over that. And you can add shading to bring some of those areas to life. Do you see how I'm doing that? So you can use your different mediums. Now, I will tell you that this is stamped with VersaFine Clair, and that's a solvent base, and I'm using an alcohol marker, so it can't smear, it can screw up your nibs, you can do all those things. So you do what you're comfortable doing with your markers. I personally don't do it. But this one over here, we could show you more, where we could actually put some definition in. Because this one was done with, no, that was done with VersaFine too. I'm lying all the way around. Do as I say, not as I do. But for sure, this one is the most vibrant, but you get this. So let's see what these backgrounds look like now. I don't know that, like, I don't know that I love it. There's the one with the distress ink. I think I like the one with the distress oxide. I'm sorry, this oxide. I think I like that one better. This one might still be wet. Let's just, here we go. I'm gonna mute myself for a second. Okay, I'm back. So I am going to say that I think this would have turned out prettier if it was a darker ink. So I'm wondering if we crumple this now that it's dry. I like that best. I like this second. So I personally am kind of digging the awesome sauce and the ink on the vellum the most. This is the second. It just depends what, like if you were doing like a Western card and you were looking for a leather, this is fantastic leather. But I like the vellum the best so far. All right. So let's cut this down with my disgusting little thing here. I always start at 3 3/4 by 5. And if we don't have enough room, then we'll... Oh, she did something right. The crazy girl did something right. Look how nice that's going to be. Okay. I like the vellum the best. I'm going to take it down a hair by like 1/8 of an inch on each side. Hey. that dead spot on this trimmer. I forgot to get the alcohol out and just treat that, but it's fine. Okay. So that's our Crinkle Inkle. Probably need to wash my hands off again. So we've got our card base, which I'm going to put this in the center. Of that. You know, I like me a border, you guys. I like me a thick border. I'm never going to change. I do think that maybe we'll use whatever's on my desk and give it a little bit bigger of a mat, just a hair. And yes, I'm only using what's on my desk. We're not going to go searching around, and we're not getting all fussy mussy today. Okay. So Justine and I really want to see Team Black be a happy, to be a thing at Paper Ganza or Craft Roulette. When we say Team Black, we just love a good old black mat. We like black. I mean, we both wear a lot of black. We're all about it. It's classy. And I wish that they would have a Team Black, but for right now, I'm Team Teal because I don't have a choice. But the minute I get a choice on it at Craft Roulette, I'm switching. So Mary Gunn, if you're watching this and you're laughing at all my results so far, I would love it if you would give us a Team Black option. Oh, she's pretty. So do we do a belly band? You put her on the outside and put like spring, I don't know. The team color thing. You don't understand that. So everybody's like, are you team orange? Are you team purple? Are you team teal? It's just you would like a Sandy Powers, you would be team lime green. To answer your question. So we'll see how this is coming together. Okay. Do you guys like belly bands? Is it just your favorite color? Lime green is my favorite color. So yes, it is your favorite color for Craft Roulette. Okay, so I did mine a little bit short, but nobody's ever going to know. Okay, let's get some paper out. I don't know how this ties in with brown, but by God, we're doing it. That one or that one? That was the same one. Not that one. She does pop on that. So this is the spring plaid paper pack. Oh, I knew I had my favorite. People were all about my favorites today. So you like that one? That's me too. Considering that this card is for a certain person, I think that the orange is what we're going for. So I mentioned this the other day. There is for sure one pajama crafter who absolutely is in need of cards. And if anybody would like to send cards, please message me and I will give you the address. She's got a hard, long battle ahead of her, and I want to inundate her with as many cards as we possibly can. So my Craft Roulette cards will no longer be samples for the booth. They are going to my friend. So she's newly diagnosed with cancer. And she said it was okay for me to either collect cards and send them to myself or to give out, depending on who it is, obviously, her address and have cards mailed to her. So I would love it if you guys who are in the card making world would join me in sending cards to my friend. She has been part of Pajama Crafter since the inception. For those who've been around and know some of the stories, she's the one that built the website, and she's helped me do a lot of product development. So, yeah, she's my sanity. She's the keeper of joy. She's what keeps me together. Now, I will tell you that Justine is right there with her as far as like keeping me together. Thank God for Justine. Thank God for these awesome women in my life. So the belly band. All right. What I want to do, because I'm extra, is I don't want my coloring to show. So I want to die cut this on white. My die cutting machine is up there. So one moment, chat amongst yourselves. Keep them going, Justine. Okay. Thank you for holding down the fort. Colette, I would love that. I will get you some information. Did you guys just hear my stomach growl? How embarrassing. So I am using my glass board studio. That's magnetic. And I'm putting some glue on each side. And we're going to let that adhere for a second. Sorry that my head was in the way. Yes, I am human, that's for sure. That's a tight. Oh, I hope I didn't glue it. Did it seep? No. Okay. So all I did, so I left that, so there was like a gap there. Shoot. We're gonna let that dry. All right. So I don't want the inside of the card to be completely dry or, you know, like nothing there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there. And actually the person who we're sending cards to actually made this stamp set, or, you know, created it, came up with all the sentiments and all that stuff. So ooh. Do you know who I didn't see on here today? Was Benita. Hi, Reagan. I didn't see you on here. You're Team Teal. Just let that marinate and do its thing. Do its thing. All right, let's do the inside as well. I didn't say that this was like the hardest card I've ever made in my life. But sometimes just getting it to, this was more about let's just play. Let's see like what all the different crinkling effects are, and we'll go from there. I am either going to find the other Tim Holtz guillotine that's in my possession by next Tuesday, or else I will have bought one. I just want you guys to know we are no longer looking at that dead. I should make promises like that. But we are not going to continue to look at those ridiculous, dirty blades that don't cut. Look at me. I can't even get this on straight. Ugh. You saw me just rip up my card last week, so I do feel like this does not really go well. Like, I feel like I should have a block mat, but hey, I wasn't even going to finish the card. I think I started the video saying I wasn't finishing the card. So I was just having fun hanging out. It does just work. Stay. Okay. That was an over-exaggerated, I don't know, behavior. Where is the stamp set? Okay. So we've got like, so we go together like copy and paste. Wonderful. Never apart. Joined as one heart. Always better. You are wonderful. Is a better place to be. So together's a better place to be. It's my favorite place to be. So how about you are wonderful? Because she is. And I think I may have sent that flying across the room. Here's the together. Where is the... I sincerely think I sent them when I hit my elbow. I think I sent that die cut. It landed in my chair. That is a miracle. It's a miracle, I tell you. It's a miracle. This is going to be a one to, oh, guys, I don't trust myself. We're just going to stamp this on white and lob it off. Is anybody else glad to know that you're not the only one that doesn't know what you're going to do from 1 second to the next in the craft room? I will never pretend that I know what I'm doing. Okay, my head's going to get in the way because these old eyes. Okay, putting it down there in the corner. We're going to pray that we can find the VersaFine Clear. Okay. Gotta get that nasty trimmer out again. Beautiful. It's a little bit off, but it's a handmade card. And if you're judging me, then you don't deserve to get my card. And yes, I do believe that. Okay. Like, for reals. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. He didn't bring me a freaking Diet Coke. What is wrong? So I was at Dollar Tree trying to find packing material so that I could do this card, which is why I had brown paper bags instead. And I love their like 40-ounce can of Coca-Cola because it's cold and it's ready to go. And it's my thing, you guys. I love me a good McDonald's Coke too. I mean, love me some McDonald's Coke. That's just downright addicting. But so I was so excited, and they only had cherry Coke. Cherry Coke tastes like I love a cherry Coke, like with real like cherry flavor, like the pump stuff that you like would get out of diner. But I do not like the canned cherry Coke. It tastes like soap to me. Well, I got one anyway because it was a matter of it was just a matter of principle that I had to get one since they didn't have regular Coke. And I have to be honest with you, I wasn't mad at it today. So evidently I needed the caffeine and I needed the sugar. But normally I'm a Coke Zero girl normally. But today was a full strength day. Okay, tweezers would be really good here. Okay. Where is my crafter's wand? You are wonderful, and she is indeed wonderful. I did leave a place to write, and I'll just write on the back. It's fine. Like I said, this is fitting extremely tight. What do you guys think? So we've got Monet colors, which basically could be anything under the rainbow. We've got a Gatefold. We've got Crinkle Inkle, and for natural, I'm going to use the flowers. I did demonstrate it on like paper bag recycled and stuff, but we didn't use it. So yes, I'm with Justine on that. Jeff is a keeper. So these are not mine. I have no idea where I got them. But my friend is getting a heart on her card. And I think this brighter red one will be what I want. And then I am going to use, what is this color? Knockout Pink. Where's my little tray? Little tray, where did you go? Because every card needs a little bit of little sparkle, in my opinion. Do they look like Altenew? They might have been. I mean, I used to get Altenew kits all the time. So that could very well be the answer. My biggest problem, I used to take all my bling and I had it in like a zip up folio, like in like card protectors. And then what would happen is they would sit in my desk or I'm in my closet and I would never see them. So then I moved them into different containers and inside my drawers that are right behind me because it's so much easier just to like spin around and grab stuff. But by taking it out of the folios, I don't know what company is what at this time. But I would not be surprised if they are Altenew. Because once upon a time, I had a lot of, well, heck, I still do. I had a lot of Altenew. I can't see my glue spots. Oh, my. She's senile. There we go. What do you guys think? I think you're right. I think they do. The last row. I think that we have concluded this evening. I'm going to put these back into my bag because I haven't yet put it into our container. So if you guys are making cards, endometrial cancer is like an orangey coral color, which is why you'll see a lot more orange and coral on my page, because that's what I'll be creating with a lot. But I am not gonna it's not gonna be the only thing. So this is what I have. If you have any questions, you let me know. So now that this is dried, I think that has turned out to be like a really pretty suede. I'm going to save this for a special release down the road. So I just gave you a hint. If you were here for the whole video, this one didn't do anything. This is garbage. But I do like that other one. Okay. I think we're good. I'm going to go hang out with my husband before it gets to be too late, and you guys enjoy your evenings. I will catch you here next week for sure. I might pop on depending on how schedules go. Quite frankly, it just depends on how I feel. This has been a little bit of a I don't know, like a sickly little time period in my house. So that's why you saw me schedule some stuff over the weekend and then I canceled it. So I apologize for that. All right. You'll catch me on the flippity flip. All right. Toodles, guys. Love you.